Welcome back, aliens. My name is Navin Reddy, and in this video we'll talk about Ethereum 2.0. Now, if you're not sure about what is Ethereum, you will find the link in the I button and you can watch that video. But if you know about it and if you have heard about Ethereum, let's continue. See, the thing is, we'll divide this video into two parts. First, we'll talk about the issues with the first version of Ethereum, and then we'll move towards what's new in Ethereum 2.0. So let's start with the issues. Now, even before talking about issues, let's move towards Bitcoin. See, we all know what Bitcoin is, right? Now, Bitcoin is basically a cryptocurrency, and that's the future. That's what everyone says. See, the problem is we don't trust the existing system, right? We don't trust banks, and that's why we are moving towards the decentralized network, where all the transactions will be happening in the decentralized network. So the data will be stored on everyone's machine, at least on the miner's machine, right? See, the thing is, in the Bitcoin network, you do transactions, right? You send Bitcoins, you receive Bitcoins, and everything is getting stored in that ledger. And that is a distributed ledger, mind you, which is stored on different nodes. Now, how do you make sure that all the participants in the network will be having the same data? So we have to come to the consensus, right? And that consensus which we all use, or which we use for different cryptocurrencies, right? It's not just for Bitcoin. We have some alternative to the Bitcoins, and then one of them is Ethereum, of course. They use this concept called POW, which is proof of work. Now, how exactly that POW work is, see, when you are the participant on the network, so basically you have to prove yourself that you are not a malicious node. Of course, right, when you say you don't have a central authority, anyone can be a part of this network, and if you are a malicious person, of course, you want to earn Bitcoins or not earn, you want to steal Bitcoins. So to avoid that, what we have is proof of work. Says it's an algorithm basically which says if you want to be a part of this network, of course you can add the network, you can add the block in the network, but you have to solve the puzzle. So in POW, as a miner or as a node, you will solve the puzzle. Now, whenever you solve the puzzle, you will receive some incentives. So how exactly a block gets into a blockchain is every time you do transactions, that becomes one block, and that block gets added to the network, and it is added by a miner or a node, you can imagine. Or imagine you are adding it. Now, for that, you have to do some computation. Now, if you have 1,000 miners on the network, of course, not everyone will add that particular block. Only one node or one person will add that block in the blockchain, and of course, that person will get some Bitcoins. So, Bitcoin network incentivize the miners. Same goes for the Ethereum network. So, whichever network goes with POW as an algorithm, they will be using this concept. They have to incentivize their so they have to do some computation, and if they win the lottery, they will get some incentives. So currently, I guess they receive 12.5 Bitcoins, and one Bitcoin, the current cost or the current value is approximately $40,000. Okay, that was the number last week. I'm not sure about the current value, but you can imagine how much they earn for adding one block in a network, right? But for that, they have to do a lot of computation. Now, to solve that puzzle, which takes 10 minutes, you can imagine how much computing power we are wasting just to add a block in a blockchain. Now, the thing is, we in a world, of course, we are lacking resources, right? Energy is one of the things which we are lacking. And if we are spending that, and we are consuming that only for the Bitcoin network, see, if we have a choice, why not? We can shift from that, right? So instead of using POW, we have some other consensus algorithm. Of course, you can watch the other options in the I button there. But the thing is, when you talk about POW, it's not that efficient. The second problem is the speed. See, the thing is, we are saying that Bitcoin is the future, or not just Bitcoin, the other cryptocurrencies. Well, Ethereum is also in the picture. Now, what's the difference between Ethereum and the other network is, in the Ethereum network, of course, you are storing your data in all the machines. You can say ledger, but Ethereum provides you one extra thing. Now, what that extra is actually a major part, which is Ethereum says it will become the world computer. You can imagine a decentralized computer where you can write applications. That means you can write applications on the decentralized network, or we can call it dApps, which will replace the centralized systems. Amazing, right? But the problem is, if you want to do that, you need speed. As of now, Bitcoin does a transaction of 4.7 transactions per second. Ethereum, on the other hand, claims it can do 15 TPS, which is much better than Bitcoin. And there are other cryptocurrencies which claims a higher number. But if you see the current scenario, we use different credit cards, right? One of them is Visa payment system. And Visa claims that they do 24,000 TPS, I doubt. On average, I read an article which says they only go for 1700 TPS, but they claim it can go till 56,000. And there's a difference between on paper and actual services. But even if you go for 1700, which is way more than Ethereum and Bitcoin. So if Ethereum wants to beat that, they need speed, right? And the third issue is not everyone can be a part of this Ethereum network. Because see, when you say you are, when you have this huge network, and in Ethereum we can call it as a mainnet, where if you want to be part of this network, you have to spend a good amount of computing power, right? Maybe your normal laptop will not work. I mean, of course, if you try to do that on normal machines, you can smell your CPU burning, right? So you don't want to do that. So Ethereum wants everyone to use Ethereum, but then unfortunately we can't do that. It doesn't work on normal machines properly. So we have to solve these three problems. So the first problem is we don't want POW. Second, we want to improve the throughput or the TPS. And the third one is we want to use Ethereum on all the machines. Okay, we don't want it. The creators of Ethereum wants it. Okay, so we'll see that. And so they are trying to solve this problem from a long time. In fact, from last few years, they are claiming that they will be coming up with the new version which will solve all these issues. And the most important one was POW. And they're looking at POS. Now, POS stands for proof of stake. The difference between proof of stake and proof of work is the last two words, work and stake. So in work, now if you want to be a validator and if you want to get incentivized, you have to do a lot of computation. You have to work, right? But on the other hand, when you say you have POS, in POS what you do is you don't have to buy huge amount of computing power because you will not be working. We don't have a work there, right? What you have is stake. You have to lock some cryptocurrencies or some ethers in the network. So basically you have to be rich. You need to have 32 ethers as of this point, which is approximately $40,000. In rupees, it comes around 30 lakhs INR, if I'm not wrong. So if you have that much of money, then you can be a validator. So that amount you will be locking in the network. Okay, now why will you do that? Because if you are a malicious node and if you do some malicious work in the network, you will be thrown out or they will be slicing your amount, right? So of course, right, if you are spending that much of amount or if you're locking that amount in the Ethereum network, there's a low chance that you will be a malicious node, right? Okay, so instead of using POW, where you don't have to work which will consume the energy, you just have to stake, right, which will be good for the environment. Now, there is one issue with the consensus algorithm. In fact, most of them is the 51% attack. Now, in the POW, if let's say you own 51% of the entire network, so you have a lot of servers, you're rich, so you bought a lot of servers, you bought huge amount of computing power, and if you get that 51% majority, you basically own the network. In POS also, you can do that if you stake a lot. Let's say if you have a lot of money, you're staking in the network, but you can do something. You can tweak the algorithm in such a way that it will not happen. It's difficult to do that in POW, and that's why they say POS is much secure than POW. So basically we have two issues. One is how will they improve TPS, and how can we use Ethereum on the smaller machine as well. Now for that, they are coming up with shard chains. Now what is shard chain is, if you look at Ethereum, it's a very big network, right? So, and we store everything. So we store everything, we compute everything on the main network, right? Now, since we are doing everything on one network, and if you want to be a part of this network, you need to download the entire blockchain on your machine, which will be very heavy. So what you can do is, what Ethereum is doing is they are breaking the main network into subparts, right? Sharding is a very famous concept. Basically, if you break something in maybe horizontal breaking or vertical breaking, you can break the original network into 64 shards, right? So so basically you'll be having 64 shard chains, which will take the load of the network down, right? So you can run that on small machines, plus it will also improve the throughput. And now, since we're talking about Visa, which does around 1700 TPS, Ethereum 2.0 claims it can do 100,000 TPS. One lakh. Good number, right? So basically, in Ethereum 2.0, you can still buy ethers, right? The same way you do in the old network or the old version. Now there will be a time where this new version and the old version will merge, but till that point they have a roadmap. So basically they will be doing this in 3 phases: phase 0, phase 1, phase 2. Now in phase 0 they have launched Beacon Chain. Now Beacon Chain will be a step towards achieving POS, right? So maintaining, organizing the POS, the proof of stake. So that started, right? The Beacon Chain is already here. In maybe late this year, they will be coming up with shard chains, and maybe in next 1 or 2 years they will be coming up with the actual 2.0 as the main version. But as of now, it started, right? So Beacon Chain is there. Shards will be coming soon. As of now, you are working with the old network itself, but with the help of POS. So yeah, that's about Ethereum 2.0. So 2 big things actually: POS and sharding. So I'm excited for Ethereum 2.0. I just hope they come up with some new programming language as well, similar to Python, just to make it easy for everyone to learn. Yeah, that's it from this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you want more information about Ethereum 2.0, let me know in the comment section. I'll try to make another video. Bye bye everyone.